So what I am going to be doing today, and I planned on doing it anyway, but I figured I might as well just stream it while I do a little bit, and probably over the course of the coming weeks, I'm going to probably stream on and off as I work on this project. So the nutshell on it is that I helped a buddy of mine who helped a friend of his do a website for somebody, and he's a photographer, and he does movie photography. So he actually will do some of the behind the scenes movie pictures. Like this is the website, so you can scroll through and see some of the stuff that's here. So he's actually doing it for some pretty cool movies, like recognizable. Like I think that's Prometheus, or it's one of those alien movies, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah. The Counselor. Anyway, so he does the photography that they use in promotions and movie posters and other stuff like that. And the site was up, but then the guy forgot the credit card that was attached to it, and the VPS ended up getting deleted. It was no more. They got rid of it. And while we had the code in a Bitbucket, nobody apparently had database backups or backups of the photographs. Probably the photographer has the photographs somewhere. But I managed to find on an old computer of mine that I had this archived, and I said, hey, why not? I might as well get this back up and running. And in the process of doing that, I also wanted to modernize it a little bit. I have the feeling that I'm going to be the one principally helping out with maintaining this thing. So I wanted it to be using my current setup. So one of the first things that I did is I Dockerized the whole setup here. And it's nothing terribly exciting. This is just a terminal window in PHP Storm. But these are the containers that go up and run to run the database. So we've just got Webpack, PHP, Q, et cetera, et cetera. So when I sit down and I want to work on a site, I just open up the project and I do a Docker compose up, and it will bring up all the containers, and then that brings up the site, and we can get to working on it. So I work typically one site at a time, or one project at a time. So it doesn't really bother me that I don't go to, carrybrown.test or whatever local name you want for it. Because typically I'll work on a project and then I'll just down the containers and I'll just up them somewhere else. So I'm always just working off of localhost 8000. If that was something that you cared about for local dev, probably the easiest thing to do would be to do what Nitro does and have a caddy container, which can act as a proxy for your both SSL and then also the domain names that are running through it. But again, I don't really care. So that's not what we're going to do. So this is the project, and you'll know as soon as the container starts up, it does two things. It does an npm install, and then it does a composer install. And it does that every time you up the containers. And I do that on purpose to make sure that none of the stuff that I'm working on is ever out of date. I work on this stuff on two computers. In theory, on this project, but especially on other projects, there are multiple people that are working on the project. So much nicer to just have it do the npm install and the composer install every time to make sure that whatever is in those lock files is what is going to be what everyone is working on when you up it. It does add about 30 seconds to the time to spin everything up because composer has got to do its thing to resolve its packages, and npm has to do its thing to resolve its packages, but, no big deal. I would far prefer that than running into these weird problems that spend hours debugging because someone's using an older version of this, that, or the other thing. But here our project is back up and running, so we can reload, and we can log in, and then this is our backend. Should have all of our assets and all of our fun stuff should be all good to go. Oh, I see. Oh, fun. Nice. Okay, it looks like these are not right. Well, let's see why they're not right. Do we even have a .env file? I bet that's why. Oh, we do. Yeah, no, that all looks good. Maybe that's not good. Yeah, so something clearly is configured wrong if it's trying to load assets logos from here, so that's not right. Let's see what we got. Yeah, okay. These all look right. And this is the fun that anyone who has been working on an existing site, they know it. When you're converting stuff over from an old framework to a new one, this was running Craft 3417 on PHP 7.1 maybe. And now it's up and running on PHP 8 with Craft 369. So we at least got the updates through. All right, so let's take a look. Yeah, no, this is right. Looks right to me. So let's just find one of these. Documentaries, these all look good. All right, let's take a look at documentaries. Okay. Oh, I see. It just needed to regen them. Okay. So let's do that. Let's make sure that we regenerate all these things. The easiest way to do that is going to be settings. And a little cheat code, you go here and you hit save, and it's going to generate a resave task for everything. Yeah, so it's going to go through and it's going to chunk away and resave these things. All right. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to convert this over to, he's just using whatever layout system he's using. So let's take a look at what he's got. So he's got a layout. And so we're kind of doing the architectural dig here to check out what is going on in this thing. So it's a basic layout, doing full page caching. And actually this looks like something I probably did. I probably full page cached and minified this stuff to make it a little more performant. Yeah, so he's just directly loading some of this stuff. Okay. Okay, so actually, the way this is written is going to be relatively easy. Because he's got a content block, which I'm betting everything else, yeah, just extends that. Okay, so that's great. Because the system that I want to convert it over to is my base, what do I call it? Base templating config, I believe is what I called it. It's what I want to convert it over to. And it works the same way, where you just extend a layout and then you plop your content in and away you go. So this actually, all I'm probably going to have to be able to do is copy all the right stuff in from the boilerplate and then switch over the layout it extends and it should be good to go. It should do it. Pretty sure. Let's just see here. Yeah, we might have to sync up. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe we'll change like a tiny bit of this in terms of the classes that are on there, but it should be relatively simple to do. Or, you know, the other thing that I could do. No. Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. All right. Got that running. Oh, look at that. Whole mess of windows. So this is the Carrie Brown. Okay. Sure we got the latest everything. And then I'm going to start by just copying over some layout files. So here's our Carrie Brown and CMS. Yeah, that's still visible. Mostly. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy over some of the boilerplate template stuff that I've got. So boilerplate comes over. I think all of this stuff can just come over. The nice thing is we can just kind of slide them on in here. And I guess we'll just change over one of the templates and see how badly it breaks. I know that it's going to break in terms of including the JavaScript and CSS. So maybe we should address that first. Yeah. Okay. So the stuff we copied over is right here. So here is our underscore layouts, and we're going to be modifying the generic page. And we just need to make sure that our links are in here. So let's check out generic page layout. Yeah. Any link tags. This is going to be temporary, right? So when we're going to be eventually getting rid of all of this stuff. But here is our JavaScript that we want. And we'll put that into body. Let's see, what block do we have here? Pretty sure that there's a body links too. So let's just take a look at what this extends. So this extends the base HTML layout, which is here. Base HTML layout, yeah. So we got head meta, head links, head JS, head CSS, yeah. So these are all the things. And we could put it in body JS too if we wanted to. I guess I'll put it in the header. And again, this is just temporary. All right, just so we have our script tags in here. And these are, even though this isn't head links, these are all technically style sheets, it looks like. So we might as well put them in. Yeah, might as well put them in here. And this is our, it's also including this site fonts stuff. So I think what we'll do is we'll replace this. Oh, interesting though. This is actually inline CSS, which we actually don't want anything here. Because this looks like it's using all Google Fonts stuff. And think this is actually wrong. It should be head links because I think this is for raw CSS. So we had it right the first time. All right, so now here is our page container. We got a component container. This is not going to enter into anything really. This is our header, which we'll swap in and use their header. And there's the main and there's the content. So this actually should be pretty easy. All right, because here's the one that we're copying from. So let's do split right. Let's go over here. All right. So on the left is the one that we're building, and on the right is the one that already exists. Yeah. Oh, interesting. He's got a body class going on. Not a huge. Yeah, I know what he's doing. Oh, and that's the other thing. Do I do it? So I think this, oh my God. I think this site is actually using tachyons. I'm pretty sure it's using tachyons. So then the question is, do I bother converting this over from tachyons to Tailwind? I don't know. I don't know that I really want to do that. I'll tell you what, that'll probably be something that we'll leave for last, so that if we do it, we'll do it at the end. All right. Let's find our body class, which I think is going to be here. Nope. Nope. There's some body content, so it's going to be in whatever this extends. So this is depending on its, well, right. Okay, so it's going to be a base web layout. Okay. You know what, though? I actually the idea of modifying this. So, oops, don't want to do that. I think what we're actually going to do is to simulate this class that he has on the body. I'm just going to add it to a div that is wrapping inside of the body HTML stuff. That should be totally fine. So we'll just do it like this. Component container is probably not going to enter into the picture. This would be if we were using Vue. This is just a typical mount for component stuff. Maybe we'll keep it in just so we can see the confetti when we get going. All right, so next he's got this. And this is where, okay, so he's doing partials nav. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, so this is just his navigation. So you know what we're gonna do? We are gonna move it on over. Partials, just in case we want to do an amp, for instance. Yeah, so. And probably it should be in nav. Oh, never mind, my bad. He already had them. Okay, so we're including the info header. Wait a minute. I don't feel like that's what we just edited. Oh, the info header is then going to include the nav. I got you. Info header is here. It says it is, but it doesn't include it. That's fantastic. You know what? Why don't we just directly include that? Yeah. All right. So we got a couple of these things in here. All right. So now there's his main. That's my dog. All right. So he's got a main ID, and then there's no div surrounding it. So we can just get rid of this, get rid of this. There's our block content, sub content, info footer. What is that dog doing? Oh, wow. Oh, the poor dog. The dog's locked out. I feel bad. I'm gonna let the dog in. Run. Oh. Yes. He's very upset he couldn't get it. Sorry about that. You gotta do what you gotta do for your dogs, you know? Alrighty. Okay, so he's got this, and he's including partials footer. And then he also, okay, so this is in our, okay. Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff. We got a bunch of fun, oh, look at all this fun inline JavaScript. Alrighty. Okay. So that is gonna go in our body.js tag. Right. Yeah, body.js. Any.js. Yep, okay. I know we got some people watching, so if you have any questions about what I'm building or why I'm streaming this, feel free. Body HTML. Yes. And I always like naming the blocks with the end block too, so that if I'm ever scrolled all the way down, I know what block this is ending. And it's just kind of a nicety. All right, so that's all of our body.js. That's our body HTML. Here, he's including partials footer. So we'll just we'll just copy and paste it into the info footer like we did with the other one. He's got partials footer. And we've got our info footer. There's that. All right, so in theory, I should be able to change this to, yeah, layouts, generic page. And in theory, that means that this will load Oh, well, that's a problem. Yeah, we have to install TwigPack. Okay. Okay, yeah, so this plugin, or this site doesn't include that. So that's okay. We'll just do Composer. Composer require TwigPack. And it's gonna suck it down and install it for us. And let's take a look here. Settings, plugins, install. Wow. Wow. It actually like mostly works right off the bat. That's nice. And we got our, you see that? We got our nice little confetti here. Isn't that wonderful? Okay. But I can see, so first of all, it's got the word header in here, which we want to get rid of. That's probably in one of the included things. And oh, I think everything else probably. I have the feeling this isn't where it's supposed to be. I think it is anyway. We'll find out. Yeah. All right. So that wasn't so bad. Got that up and running. Let's just see, like, does this work? Does this do what it's supposed to? Yeah, it's supposed to put it up in a nice little, yeah, that all works. That's pretty sweet. This, incidentally, is using my Image Optimize plugin. So you see how there's a lot of purple in this one? It picks that as the background color for the light box that shows up. It's kind of nice. So it's per image, you can see here. I actually remember coding this for it. And this works because Image Optimize will extract a color palette from the pictures, and you can pick whatever dominant colors you want and have them use them however you want. In this case, we're using it as a background color. Nice. All right, well, let's just fix this, and let's get rid of that header. I don't know where that's coming from. I would assume it would probably be in something called info header. Okay, yeah. Probably shouldn't have it like this. And you can see, oh, you couldn't see because I didn't see it, but I've got live reloading on everything here. So I change anything and it will reload reload all the stuff. So like if I add high, like it reloads the page. It does. Anyway. So this is actually pretty good progress. Now it's using, at least for this page, it's using that one layout template. So let's switch to another one. And it actually looks like it's using the wrong font. So that's interesting. I wonder why that is. Oh my God. Yo, chill. Scared the crap out of me. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's see what is giving this sizing. Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay. So this is the body family. I have the feeling. Yeah, okay. So what's happening is the Tailwind CSS that we're including is overriding this. So I think for now what we're gonna do is we're gonna not include the CSS. I think that's probably what we'll do. Yeah. Yep, I'm pretty sure it's in here. Oh no, it's going to be in the critical CSS. That's right. It's going to be in partials, critical CSS, and this is where, yeah, it's going to include a critical, and here's our styles. So at least for now, block. Oh, let's comment that out, at least for now. Interesting. What is overriding this? Huh. Let's take a look at our sources. Let's see what actually loads. We only want CSS. No, I mean, it looks like it's loading what I would expect it to load. And it's 8,000. Huh. Weird. And this is just using the pre-built CSS that he already had on this site. So I'm not super familiar with it or how it's working. Oh. Oh. Well, that's interesting. Huh. Okay. I know what we need to do then. Oh, it's because it's included by the JavaScript. Okay. That's why I was getting confused. I thought that just commenting out this line would do it. Oh no. I got everything all messed up in terms of where it is. Like Tina from Bob's Burgers. Okay. There we go. It's back where it should be. So I was thinking, oh, okay, I know. It's overriding the tailwind. We don't need tailwind here. This is a tachyons project. I got it. I'll just uncomment this thing. That's not going to work because we're running the hot module replacement via the Webpack dev server. And so what's happening is that the JavaScript for the app is loading. And then the actual JavaScript is what is pulling in the CSS and injecting it into the DOM. So, and the reason it does it that way is so that you can get the hot module replacement from the CSS that you're changing to, right? And you can actually see that this is the case and it's here. Like when I scroll up, I've got this yellow background and I have that ugly yellow prefab in my boilerplate starter so that I know that something's wrong if you're seeing that, right? Because probably that should be changed. So, easy enough. What we'll do is we'll go into our build chain. And, okay. Webpack settings, and here's our app. And this is where it's telling it, hey, include these various CSS things. Yeah, we'll just comment those out. So now it should HMR it. Console. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Not only do we have our nice confetti, but we got our fonts are back the way they were. Okay, so this page is converted over to using the new layout thing. And everything kind of just works because we haven't disturbed the CSS and we haven't disturbed the JavaScript. That's all. We're kind of doing like a surgical replacement and we're doing it one thing at a time, right? So first thing I'm going to do is get everything working on my template platform that I use. Once that's all going, then I'm probably going to look into converting the JavaScript over. And we can see here in the code here. So in our layout, and it's all ready for AMP too if we ever wanted to do AMP, but we can see here we're just including jQuery, lazy sizes, masonry, JavaScript, and Slick, I guess, is what is being used for the lightbox. And then there's some inline JavaScript that does the thing. Yeah. So, I mean, I think the right thing to do would be to get all of these JavaScripty things refactored out, put them in the package.json, and have the Webpack build process pull them in and build them, just so it's easy to keep everything up to date and working. And yeah, then we can async load this. Then we can get rid of the blocking JavaScript that's in here, so that'll be all good. And the Slick.js stuff, I mean, that could even potentially be lazy loaded. Like, you could wait until they click on something and then load it from there. Okay. So we got one page working. We got the home page, the overview page. So we got to do films, posters, portraits, white wall, about, contact, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why about and contact are not the same page, but okay. You know? All right. Okay. So it looks like some of these images are not here yet. Oh, that's weird. It should be. It's also possible. It's possible that I'm missing these images locally. It's definitely possible. Let's take a look at something. Okay. Settings. Assets. All right. So now it should be kicking off some stuff. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Yeah, because there shouldn't be that many in there. Yeah, if this doesn't fix it, I'll look into it later. Oh, so that's interesting. So you can see here, it's assets white wall with a uppercase W. I wonder if that potentially could be a casing issue. I definitely have run into that before. Yes, this is white dash wall. Okay. So it looks like the asset volume is just wrong. For whatever reason. Huh. That's weird. All right. Let's see if that fixes it. No, this is right, actually. No, it looks right. I wonder why that... Oh, it's because it was a handle in the CP. Got it. Got it. All right. I'm going to look at one more thing in here. And if this doesn't work, then I will table it. I just want to see exactly what it's trying to load. Okay. So we're trying to load assets, image, white dash wall, white wall 9 resize.jpg. Okay. What am I missing here? Assets. Oh. Oh. Okay. It's going to image. It's so funny. Yeah. You can just ignore, or you miss the easy stuff. I'm sure someone who's watching was like, "You idiot! It's right there. It's got image in the path." Okay. So let's fix our asset volume for the white wall. Don't know why that would be in there. Stale data. And this is one of those things that, you know, what you uncover when you're checking out an older project. Yeah, see, this has got it too. All right, now I'm getting suspicious. And this doesn't. All right. I'm just going to assume that that interim image directory is wrong. So anyone that has it, we're just going to remove it from there. Oh. Site. User photos. No, those are good. Wait, well, we just fixed. Posters are bad. Wow, really? Is that even possible? Like, is there even? Oh, there is an image. Oh, for God's sake. Okay. I don't know what this was all about. I have no idea. All right, so MISC, posters, site, and okay. So we just did posters. Now we've got to do MISC. We do MISC. We should be good. Nice thing is, since this is converted over, now it's using project config. It's not going to be a big deal. All right. There we go. Nice. We loaded it and we got some guy flipping us off. That's awesome. I probably should know who that is. These are all, I mean, they're all relatively famous as far as I know. I probably should know who they are. Is that? No. Chadwick Boseman, I think. Yeah. Anyway. So we got a little victory there. All right, so we got this going. So we're going to know each page we've converted over because we're going to get confetti on the page. Because that means it's loading our TypeScript bundle, which is loading the confetti component, which is giving us a nice little confetti that's on there. So let's take a look at that. So all we should need to do is what we did here. We don't need to be in the vendor folder. Okay. What is this? Layout HP. I don't even know what this is. Or when we would actually get there. It's like some other... Yeah, I don't know what this is. We'll deal with that later. Yeah, because if I go to overview, it loads the home page. It loads this one. So all we should have to do is change the extends on all of these pages to our new little base setup thing. And for anyone who's interested in that, it's my website, search on base, and this is what we're working on. And an effective twig base templating setup. So it's just a base setup that all of my templates are layered upon. And it integrates with the front-end Webpack system, and it's just a lot easier if we just implement this. Because we're modernizing everything else, might as well keep it the same. All right, so let's do these one by one. Let's do them in order. So we know where we're at. So we're going to do films, posters, portraits. So it looks like it's alphabetical order. Oh, no, it's not. About and contact, screw it all up. Okay. All right. And in theory, even the entries should work. So let's go to films now. And that, okay, so we got our this. So here is silence. So this is like Martin Scorsese. Okay, so if we click here, we get the detail page, which appears to be working as expected. All right, if we have confetti, we know we're on the new modern thing. So that's going to be our little conversion thing. All right, so let's do posters next. And that there's only an index, but go to posters. There we go. Oh, it's some pretty sweet posters, actually. Free Fire. Brie Larson is Justine. Oh, this is like, must be before she did the Captain Marvel stuff. Silence, Exodus, Brooklyn, Hercules. Okay. Well, I didn't know Rock was in there. It must have been a terrible movie because I never saw it. Rock the Casbah. Yeah. All right. Sorry, getting distracted by all the cool movies that are in here. All right, so now we do portraits. Let's find portraits. Okay. Portraits. Coming soon. Okay. Pretty sure it's always been that way. So that's fine. And we'll go to white wall is next. You can see there's no confetti, right, when we did it there. Now, extend our new chain stuff. And we got confetti. And the reason it didn't live reload there, I actually had to hit Command R to reload the page because it wasn't using the new templates, the JavaScript wasn't injected on this page. And it's the JavaScript that drives the HMR. So you need to have that loaded before the HMR will work. But now if I do something, right, so it will automatically do it. Okay. All right, so we've got white wall, so let's do about next. About. All right. About. I don't know what these entry things are here for about. Yeah, there's nothing there. I didn't think so. I'm just going to delete this because if we're not using anything, just get rid of it so we're not confused about why it's there. All right, so that's about. Now we'll do contact. Go. Confetti. Everybody's happy. All right. So if we get confetti on every page here, we have done our do. And films, I think, is the only one that actually has subpages. But these should still, yeah. Perfect. Great. Yeah, and the other reason why I'm taking this approach where I'm just changing one thing at a time or modernizing one thing at a time is I'm doing all of this pro bono, right? So if I run out of time, that means he runs out of luck, you know? So, all right. That means I can stop at any point and I'll still have a working site that could be deployed. And then if I do have more time later, I could pick it up and do some of my OCD modernizations and getting that stuff up and running. All right. So let's get rid of some other junk in here too. We cleaned all that up. I don't even know why there's an HT access here, but okay. All right, so this is a template that we're not using anymore. And we should have gotten everything out of it that we needed. Look here, yeah, this is all provided by our base templating stuff. Yep, okay, bye-bye. Right. Now this, I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. I also don't really understand. There must be something in here that changes where it goes to by default because it must be loading the overview index by default. It's got to be that the home page was set to that or something because this is never loaded. And I don't know what this is either. So I think what I'm going to do and this is something that I do on a lot of sites that I'm doing this type of thing, is I'll do this. Deprecated. Yeah. And actually, okay. So anything that we're not using, and we're sure we're not using, I can just drag it into deprecated and deal with it later. Know what I mean? All right, so those can go in deprecated, factor. Oh my goodness. PHP Storm's a little too thorough sometimes. Okay. So it's finally letting me move this stuff. Yeah, and see, this doesn't make sense. Like this web config and this HT access. Actually, I don't think you're seeing it because I made it too big. Yeah. So this HT access and web config is in the templates directory, which is not in the server root. So this is actually not doing anything. It's never going to do anything. If we wanted it anywhere, it would be in the web root, and it's not there either. So these I'm just going to nuke. And again, this is part of the whole deal. Like when you're going in and working on this stuff, clean it up. If there's stuff you're not using, clean it up. All right, so here's this 404 template. Okay, so this is not doing anything. Okay. So we can get rid of that too. It's literally not doing anything. So I'm going to copy in my generic errors stuff. So now we've got our nice errors, and I want to make sure it should be in here because it should be using my generic config now, but I want to make sure that the errors is pointing to the right place. Yeah, error template prefix going to errors. That's good. And here are our errors. And these extend our error page template, which extends the generic one. So this is one of the lovely things where the fact that we have this kind of inheritance that we have is wonderful, because all the changes we made are going to cascade down and everything's going to just work. The only thing we're going to need to do is in the DB itself, we're going to need to make an errors, a series of error entries in there. But this is good. So we got everything refactored to where it's using the nice base template system that I use. The Webpack build system is working. It's working with the existing stuff. And I think that's a good stopping point for today. I think what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to modernize all the JavaScript stuff. So we're going to take the stuff that is in, where is it? It's not loaded there. So we're going to take all of the JavaScript that is loaded here. You see how these are just referencing, these are just static files that are sitting there, which is fine, like it works. But if you want to keep things updated, it's much easier to have this in your package.json, and then you can just do a npm install or npm update or whatever it is you want to do. And then you do another build and you get the latest stuff. You never have to worry about it, and there are tons of security vulnerabilities that are coming out all the time. Being able to rebuild this stuff with the latest is real nice. The other benefit we'll get, which for this site, honestly, it doesn't really matter. But the other benefit that we're going to get is that we can use our Webpack dev server and hot module replacement with all this stuff. Again, with the site already done, the benefit is not so much there, but one of the reasons I like to convert all this stuff over is to get my mental headspace where it should be. Which is that every project that I work on, things are set up in the same way, and it's real easy for me to dive in there and do it, because I have the feeling I'm going to be the one that is going to be working on this thing for some time. Just have the feeling. I have the feeling that Matt is not too interested in continuing to work on maintaining this stuff. This is all well and good. Okay. All right, so now what I think we should do is I think we should check some stuff in. So let us go to our handy dandy. Let's see. Make sure I've got it so that it is visible and not too annoying. Okay. All right. Yeah, so not too many changes. I'm doing all of this in a branch called Docker Webpack. I already Dockerized his setup, as I mentioned before. And at least we're getting a little bit of the way here. So we're going to do a stage all. Actually, no, we're not. Because we got some project YAML changes. This was fix wrong as and URLs. Yeah. Okay, and then this would be install Twigpack plugin. All right. And so I'm trying to do commits in a way that it's at least, you know, I didn't do all of the work necessarily super atomically, but at least all of the commits are atomic in that they are talking about, not atomic, but they're related stuff, right? I'm not just doing select all and hitting commit and just junking the stuff in there. Yeah, all right. So this is temporarily comment out tailwind. And I'll actually probably talk with Matt about that, the guy who originally did this site, to see whether he wants to redo everything in Tailwind or keep it at tachyons or what he wants to do. But all of this stuff, yeah, is adding the boilerplate. Actually, not these two. This one, this one, this one. Okay. Add boilerplate from templating setup. Boom. And then just one more. Remove this. I never spell this right. Vestigial? Is that spelled right? I hope so. I'm honestly not sure. All right, let's see. Is it vestigial or vestigial? Oh my God, I spelled it right. That's incredible. There we go. All right. We got our nice stuff pushed up there. Whoa. Yeah, and again, our next task is going to be to bust out this JavaScript and to get this all working with Webpack, which isn't going to be a big deal. You know, we're going to, Webpack has this thing called provides, which will just automatically make sure that jQuery is available everywhere. So I'll probably just do a provides for that. And then everything else we can just lazy load in the bundle. Masonry, it's needed everywhere. And that's the other thing that we're going to do is this script will bust this out into its own separate file. Yeah, because it's doing a whole bunch of stuff. So this probably should all go into the app.ts file, the TypeScript file that's in there. Yep, and then we've got slick. Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, and it's just making sure that once the images are lazy loaded, the masonry grid is run on them. Shouldn't be a big deal. Yeah. In theory, this shouldn't be a big deal to do. So next steps are get all the JavaScript converted over, then talk to Matt about what we want to do in terms of the CSS build, because I think, oh, it's not here anymore because I nuked it, but the original stuff was in tachyons. So I'm either going to have to rebuild the tachyons build process and have all of that in there, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I can do that. Or have him redo the classes, or me, save me, redo the classes in Tailwind. Like, that is a thing. It could be done that way. All right. That's it. Everybody, thanks for watching. And we are going to continue with this old house kind of thing. And make this site nice and ship shape. And then we're going to deploy it live and get this thing back up and running, because I think Kerry Brown would like to have his site back up and running. All right, everybody. Thank you. Bye.